Hello adventurers, and welcome back to my channel. I'm just sitting here looking out my side doors for a little bit, just really enjoying the last few moments of these views. We've been at this campsite for a couple days and it has been fabulous. I find that the new setup in my van is really nice for a lot of different reasons. The couch mode is super cool because it opens up all of my floor space so I can use it for sitting on the floor to cook or do things like that. It also allows me to stretch out my bed into two different bed modes. It can be a half bed or a full bed. And one of the things that I really like is whenever I have it kind of in this half bed mode, I have this perfect padded seat that I can look out into whatever beautiful view I have. And it's nice. It's really, really nice. Now, as you can see, it's a beautiful campsite, but it hasn't been without its flaws. Of course, we pulled in and there was the bathroom that was trashed, and okay, we at least knew about that because the iOverlander post did tell us that. And the rest of the campsite had a little bit of trash here and there, but it wasn't anything that a good old glove and plastic bag couldn't handle, and we picked up a lot of trash. But then, after one glorious night of it being so quiet and so naturey and just perfect, a family pulled in yesterday. Nothing wrong with a family pulling in. I don't like to gatekeep places and say, oh, you can't be here. But at the same time, I think that one of the things that I've learned over time is that some people recreate differently than others. Whenever you're in a natural space, one of the things that's the best thing about it is getting out and just enjoying the natural space. And I do understand everyone's rig is set up differently. But in this particular case, they immediately hopped out of their vehicle and started setting up their campsite, and they put their generator out, which took away the sounds of nature, so to speak. Okay, I understand. That might have been how they have to power their rig. But right after that, they were trying to distract their kids while they got everything set up, and they pulled out these giant, loud toys that were like little scooter bikes that made really aggressive noises, and they were riding up and down the road, and it sounded almost like a jackhammer, like bop, 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 bop. So the generator was loud, the toys were louder, and then they turned on super, super loud music and blasted it. And I thought that was it. I mean, we had our little moment where we turned on our music just to drown all that out, and we were fine, and everything was good. And normally I don't play music at my campsite just a ton because, again, I'm here for the nature. But then last night they entered into DEFCON 2, where they decided that they wanted to put blasting spotlights out in every direction. And this is a true dark sky park. There's no lights in it whatsoever. So at nighttime you can see all the stars, and it almost looks like it's bright outside just from the moon itself. It's beautiful. But we didn't have that luxury on last night because they had spotlights which canceled out the sky altogether and made it just really not great. They ran their generator well into the evening. They had their spotlights out in every direction where it looked like it was literally daytime. And at some point, I was just thankful that my van was pointed in the opposite direction because I don't have windows in the back, because it was super, super bright. Again, I know everybody's setup's a little bit different, but don't be that person who comes into a quiet park and then starts being loud and carries on and inconveniences every other camper in the park. Every other camper. Because if you're isolated in your bubble, like I have my little twinkle lights, I can turn them on for like 5 or 6 minutes and they're not going to hurt anyone because you can only literally see a patch outside of my door. That's it. And most of the time I don't even do that. But this was spotlights shooting out in every direction all the way over to Riley's spot. Now, I'm not going to put them on blast by showing the rig or anything like that. I don't like that. This is more like a PSA. Just don't be those people. But this morning, I can hear the hum of the generator already. So I just put on some gentle music in my van and I've been looking at the views because I don't know what else to do. And it's just so sad because this was a perfect place. It really expedited us leaving though because, well, do we want to deal with that for 2 days? No. Riley just came over and we were chatting about it a little bit more. And again, we're not trying to be the complaining people because obviously we're going to move on because obviously it's a free site so people can do what they want to do. But at the same time, like just common courtesy, they pulled in right next to this lady who was in a truck that they did not know. They pulled in right next to her. There's sites in other places, but they wanted that one spot. And by blasting their music, running their generator, and things like that, they ran her out also. And she was not there this morning. So I feel bad for that woman because she was down just minding her own business, kind of like we were. And the party was literally right next to her. What? Like, why? Oh, don't be the weird camper. If you want to come out and enjoy it, that's cool. It's fine. Just come out and enjoy it. But don't be disrespectful to others. That's never fun. And again, I know it's a free campsite, so people can do what they want. They can pull up right next to you and blast AC/DC if they want to at like maximum like loudness. That's fine. That's fine. At the same time, it's also not nice. If you wouldn't want it done to you, don't do it to somebody else. With that said, I'm going to enjoy my last few minutes of views. Then we're going to start putting ourselves together. Got to figure out exactly where we're going to go grab this shower, and then we're off to the next adventure. Thanks for listening to me rant about that, though, guys. Sometimes you see the beauty, sometimes you see the beast. And I would say this was the beast portion of the campground journey. Arrgh. For the most part, the van is in place for driving mode. I'm going to leave this hanging here so I can throw out the trash in a few minutes. And I've already made my shower bag, which is up here. And I just kind of put it right there. I already packed my shower bag with my clothes that I'm going to wear. So there it is right there, ready to go. And I put my water up here to drink. I do want to kind of change a few things here. I'm just not sure how yet. I'll be figuring that out soon enough. It teaches us about what we use, what we don't use, what we need to move, what we need to change. And that section is bothering me. I don't know what to do with it though, because that ladder has to sit there. And so it's just kind of frustrating. The other frustrating thing, I can't see, it's bright. I need to put some sunglasses on and we're about to hit the road. We have about 2 hours to drive today after the gym. That'll be really, really fun. Some other people pulled into camp, so they're gonna have a wonderful weekend here, and I think that they'll really enjoy it. And there's some people who are offloading a boat, so the weekend is amongst us. Now, normally I don't like to travel on the weekend, but because of this unexpected thing, we kind of need to. So we got to get a little bit closer to the destination of where we need to go. It'll be interesting. That'll be definitely interesting. Okay, and just like that, we're bidding another campsite farewell. This has been a great stay, but now it's time to hit the road and get to that Planet Fitness because I really want to get a shower because my back is hurting a little bit. The weather being cold last night really made my sciatica just clinch up. And so I woke up this morning and did all my stretches, and now I'm ready to hit the road. Long day today, super long day today. I just had a bit of an emergency. My air vent shot something into my eyeball as I was driving down the major highway. Oh my gosh. I pulled over immediately because it just hurt. Oh wow. Oh my gosh. Oh, not cool. Not cool. I don't know what hit me in the eyeball, but oh, it burned. Felt like it scratched possibly the eye. So I went ahead and took my contact out, cleaned it really good, cleaned my eye, but it is still very irritated, as you see. So I'm going to put my sunglasses back on and hit the road. I told Riley, oh my gosh, we just have to stop, and I didn't tell her why, so I'm going to have to tell her why. Wow, that was quick, fast, and aggressive. Whew. Okay, back on the road I go. We made it to Planet Fitness. This is a very interesting parking lot. A lot smaller of a parking lot than normal. It was a little harder to find a spot, and the parking lot itself has more bumps than any other one that I've seen. But that's okay. We're in Russellville, Arkansas. I have my bag, and we're about to go grab a shower. Getting her stuff together too, and then we're gonna go right over here. Okay, so Riley went in the opposite direction of the door. I'm just waiting for her to realize she went in the wrong direction. The entrance is over here. Where were you walking to? I literally said. You didn't stop me. I said Riley.
I didn't hear you. I went to the furniture store apparently.
Yep, not the right place.
I was like, where's this Planet Fitness? this?
We've been up for a while too, so there's no excuse.
I don't even know what happened.
Okay, all better. Feeling really nice now. And it's time for us to hit the road. Now, we did find a couple of things out while we were in there, and that could affect our travels. I've already got the one thing that kind of might change some stuff up, but as we're watching the events unfold, we're trying to figure out exactly how that's going to impact us and if it will impact us. So currently still in Arkansas, about to find a campsite in Arkansas, and we're going to start driving 2 hours to get there. Here we go. A little bit of gas before we hit the road. Riley's doing the same, and we're going to throw out our trash. $2.79 today. Okay, and just like that, we are ready. Although after $16.35, I think I also want to get a snack or something because I'm kind of hungry. Just about to organize my food so I could eat it because it looks good, and the curtain fell again. Ah! If you've been along for the journey throughout the entirety of my van, you know this curtain's been ongoing. And it doesn't matter what I do, it doesn't work. And I've tried so many of your suggestions and it doesn't work. And so I'm just to the point where it's like, okay. But this is going to be delightful, and I picked up some barbecue sauce. So this is gonna fix my hanger that I have toward the curtain. To stop for a second to take a look at this overlook, and it is beautiful. We're on Scenic Highway 7 going toward our location, which should be just a little bit south of Hot Springs. It's a place I'm familiar with. So just kind of want to show you guys a view. It's compliments of the U.S. Corps of Engineers. Overlook over there so you can kind of see the water, but it's not the best view just yet. I do see a big fire from this point, so I'm very interested to see if we end up going toward that. That's kind of scary. This would give Tyson a good place to pull off and kind of stretch for a minute, and then we'll get back on the road. And I've driven this road many times, so there's a lot of cool things. In fact, I've done an entire video series on this one. This is Scenic Highway 7, and so there's stops all along it, and I've kind of dotted through some of the stops here on the channel. But Riley hasn't seen this, so I thought this would be a great way for her to kind of experience a little bit more of Arkansas as we go. So we'll see what we can find. Now, I will say this, Scenic Road 7, a lot of twists and turns and a lot of steep areas. So as you're going, I will say this, Scenic Highway 7 filled with twists and turns, lots of them. And also, in addition to that, there's a lot of steep grades. So you want to be watching the speed when you're going around some of these corners, because the corners just kind of drop off. But if you're being mindful, you're paying attention, there's plenty of pull-offs where you can have scenic points where you can look around. So just kind of take it slow and enjoy yourself. Next stop, I picked a spot that I found last time I was on my trip here. I found the Nimrod Dam Area, and it is so beautiful today. I couldn't pass it up. There's a viewpoint of this massive bridge, and it's so cool. So I had to bring Riley here, of course. So where Riley's putting her shoes on, that's as far as I could go last time because it was raining and it was really slick out here. But since today it's dry, we are about to go and take this little path, see if we can get a better view. I'm not sure if we can go very far because it looks like this is a deep trench. Tyson, maybe don't go there, buddy. Maybe don't go there. So this is still as good as it's gonna get right here. There are some other views here, so I think we're gonna go over to the dam area also, just to kind of see what it looks like, because it's a beautiful day. Gives us another good stretch break. Love a good stretch break. He's taking the water out for us.
Yeah, it's cold.
Yeah, super cold.
Tyson, come.
But there's the bridge again, right over there. This is nice, this is beautiful. It's so peaceful. Tyson, are you swimming? Oh, he's anger. So much anger. He's like, nope. Done with you guys. Goodbye, going back to the car. Hour of water. This is amazing. I knew it was a little bit more full whenever we were over on the other side than when I was here in fall, but now I see why. The gates are fully open, pushing through that water, and it is coming through rapidly and churning everything, which is super neat. So you might be able to see that the ground all looks scorched out here, and I think that they're doing a prescribed fire in this area because we saw some smaller areas across the other side when we first came in that looked like tiny little campfires, and it's all of the camping zones. So the camping is basically closed right now, but you can see like over here as we're driving, there's a little extra smoke still coming up. So I think that that's what this is. They usually do this kind of periodically just to refresh the areas, but also to burn off any of the ground cover that's bad and could cause wildfires. So this is interesting. We were driving along and we kind of went through a lot of the different areas that I had been to before. And then I remembered there's this one pull-off that I missed last time. And so I thought, let's check it out. It's the Iron Springs, and it is in the Jesseville Ranger District right off of 7. So it's like the first one that you come to if you're coming from Hot Springs. And I think that there's access to the water. So I think we're gonna go try to see. Okay, so we are here on the map, and so if we were to keep going south on this, it would take us directly to Hot Springs Village and then ultimately to Hot Springs. But this is a nice looking little map here, and it shows that there's actually a couple little trails that go off of this. They do have things saying obviously you can't camp here, so even though it looks like a really nice place that you could pull off and just pull in because there's grills and tables, this is not a camping area. There is a camping area just a short distance up the road on the right though. It's about $5 per night, and it's a nice cute little campground, and I really liked that the last time I came through. But this is new. Let's go check it out. This is the swimming spot, so Riley's like gonna test it out. What is this gonna be about? The water is so clear, it's so beautiful. It is also probably very cold.
Oh, that's chilly.
Oh, chilly, huh?
That's pretty chilly.
Chilly, huh?
Oh, it's slippery. Oh, it's very cold.
Totally worth it?
Totally worth it. It feels quite refreshing. We're gonna do a little river dance.
River dance, I think, is a different thing. Okay, that's the swimming dance. That works. That works. It's a valid dance.
It's too slippery here.
Too slippery. We probably need the water shoes next time.
Probably.
Oh, how fun. Look at this water though. It is so gorgeous. You can see literally to the bottom, and even in the deeper sections like over here, it's like blue but clear. It's so pretty. Oh man, I wish I would have stopped off at this one with all the fall leaves around. That would have been fabulous. But this rock face is gorgeous. There's all these little lichen on it. I'll just show you around a little bit more. This is amazing. That was amazing, but there's more here. There's actually a bridge that goes over the water down this way. There's a trail that goes off in this direction that allows us to look over the water. It's really short, so we're about to see where this goes. Okay, so this goes into a little trail in this direction. Looks like there's lots of amazing seating options so that you can come out here and just hang out. But then it takes a turn in this direction, and I see a sign out here. After we move past the area that we were just in, there's this little sign that shows you a couple of different trails that you can go on out here, which is really cool. So in this direction, it's a more rugged path, so you take like this, and then you go over at that point, and then it goes up the side of the mountain, and you can see it's worn down just a little bit. Right there, that's the path right in the middle. This direction you can see is a little bit wider, and Riley and Tyson are actually a little bit ahead, so let's go and catch up with them at this picnic table. So it's really nice because everything is covered in moss, and as you go in this direction you can see where it's kind of pushed down just a little bit more for that trail. It's a gorgeous day. I wish we would have known about this. We would have planned a little ahead,
but we were just thinking it was just a pull-off. So we stopped here just to kind of see what the water looked like. And this is about a mile in that direction, so we would want to go back and get our stuff, but it's a little bit later in the day and we still have to make it to camp. I think there's still like 50 some odd miles to go. So I think we're just gonna soak in the nature for a few minutes and then come back here. I've already been on this highway so many times. I know where a lot of the trails are now. So one of these days I'm just gonna come up here and do a ton of these trails. We came back and we found this along the way, and this is Scenic Highway 7. We actually stopped here and came out this way so that we could get to the different portions. And there's the steep segment trail, and then there's the short mountain trail, and then there's also apparently a national recreation trail and an interpretive trail, which the interpretive trail just means that there's those signs like we saw kind of in the parking lot, but there's one here too. And this is that interpretive sign. It says 20 miles of good gravel road, and it's kind of set in a really interesting place where we have this. Now the waterway comes through this area, but you can see that there's also an area that looks like it bleeds out of the mountain and has like an orangish tone to it, which makes me think that that might be a little bit more iron rich based on what I've been through before, but who knows? You cross over this area right here to get to that steep trail. But the thing that I like the best about these signs is they tell us a little bit about the history and show us some of these historic photos of whenever they would create these areas. So for example, this part right here, I believe, is this part, and it says it was taken shortly after the rehabilitation of the iron springs. So yes, iron. The Highway 7 that we drive on now, it wasn't around forever and ever and ever. People had to drive on some pretty rugged conditions to get to where they wanted to go at one point. In fact, in the early 1900s, this was the reality. Paved roads weren't really a thing. And so there was only about 5 miles that were paved outside of the hot springs area. They had these 5 miles and fenced them off like along the way toward the campground, and they created picnic benches and things like that, and people would drive no more than 25 miles per hour to get to Iron Springs. This morning started off kind of weird because the people rolled into camp and made all the weird noises. But all you have to do is take yourself away from the crowds and just take it all in, and it's hard not to have permagrin whenever you're out in nature. I think that's part of the reason why I took it so hard whenever they came in and started disrupting the nature, because I was just so naturey. I was loving it. And here it's been just fabulous. So it's restored my joy just in time, because it's time for us to get back on the road. But before we do, I think I'm just gonna smile a little bit more. This is nice. Well, now that I've soaked in all this beauty, there really is no reason that you can't just get out and enjoy the nature around you. Nature is different in every single state, and it just geeks me out to go and discover it. And I hope that you guys enjoy coming along with me for all of these different journeys, as I not only am inside my van, but also outside exploring the world. You know, whenever I started out my channel, it never was about how I was gonna get there. I was in a tiny car. I was camping in a tent. It was always more about the journey itself. And along the way, I've tried to share that journey with you all so that you can be encouraged to find beautiful places around you. And even if you can't go on a cross-country road trip or something like that, just to appreciate the parks, the wildlife, the beauty, the museums, all sorts of stuff like that. Permagrin comes in many forms and fashion, and my permagrin has been real for 7 years now. The joys that I have found along the way have been so amazing, and even if there are little hiccups like this morning, everything in the end works its way out. Remember guys, we're not here for a long time, but we are here for a good time. I'm gonna leave this video here, and I'll see you guys at camp on the next one. But I'm just gonna soak in some last minute driving. I sure do love Arkansas. Till next time guys, bye!